Good evening, race fans. Urban Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV, and it's Saturday night, which means it's time for the BFB tournament. We're midpoint round 5, and we're back on the GR4s. So, without further ado, shall we get out there and see what's occurring? We'll have a quick look at the table before we go through who is out on track. I do have it here somewhere. So here we go. This is the current table. We were just watching our current leader, VR46, in the WRX. He is on 46 points at the top of the leaderboard, closely followed by Star Groot. TJ is in third. We won't be seeing TJ today. Congratulations, mate. He had his first child was born yesterday. Congratulations for that. So we won't see him this evening. Arminis in 4th place. Smoky Tom in 5th, Stu Shelton down in 6th, and then, well, you can read it for yourself. Simonas in 7th, Avalon 8th, Mystical Runnings in 9th, Kevin in 10th, Las Vidas in 11th, and then we've got a lot of the new Lithuanian guys who joined us last week to get involved in this awesome little tournament. So, who have we got out there today? I think the easiest thing to do is to have a little look. So, big question. I think first things first, shall we bring up some information? Would be useful, wouldn't it? There we go. So there is Stormfly. He's out there today. Current championship leader. Wendigo in 2nd place. At the moment, by the looks of things, he's also running the WRX. Arminis, there he is, also in the WRX. Very popular car at GR4. Very stable, a little bit hard on the tyres, but all in all, a pretty stable car. There he is, Anthony Gridge Troopers, also, funny enough, in that WRX. Good to see you, man. It's been a while since we've seen you out there on the racetrack. Old Man Jay has changed his car. What car has he opted for this time? He's gone for the Porsche Cayman GT4. So, has he been practicing in this car, and does he feel he can get more out of this than out of the WRX? We will certainly see what performance he thinks he can get out of the Cayman in comparison to that WRX. The Grid Troopers again, there he is. Wiggy, there he is, current 2nd in the table. He's sticking with that tried and trusted Corvette C7. Really quick car, really good car actually, really good round corners, very, very quick in a straight line. Racetrack, where are we? Oh, we're Lego Maggiore today, which is a really interesting racetrack, lots of different sort of cornering, so it'd be interesting to see what sort of tactics we see. Nick John Baker is out there. He's gone for the Renault Megane Trophy, which we've just started. Anyone that didn't catch us last night, we didn't stream last night, we had a little bit of a laugh in the Renault Meganes. We're doing a same car tournament using these really, really cool Renault Meganes. We chucked around Daytona Road last night, had a good laugh. So if you want to join us with that, that's going to be every Friday. Milkman, welcome Milkman. He joined us today, already jumping in his first race. I won't dig him out for livery violations. I'll give him a general reminder afterwards that he needs to stick some livery on the car, but he's gone for the GR Supra. I think that's all of them. Stormfly, Wiggy, Wendigo. There we go. Dariucus. I don't think he raced with us last week. Dariucus. That's what I'm going to go with. Dariucus. So welcome to Black Flag, and I hope you enjoy your race this evening. We are expecting one or two others. Don't know if we're going to have Avalon today. He was a bit touch and go for racing today. So there are all the runners and riders for today's race so far, that is. So set up for today. You'd think I'd remember it, wouldn't you? But I don't. So it's, as I said, it's round 5 at Lego Maggiore. GR4 cars. Tyres are ×4. All 3 compounds are required today. Soft, medium and hard. Will people chuck them out early or save those hards till later on in the race? be good to see. Fuel is ×5. Everyone starts on 60 litres, refuelling at 5 litres a second. The weather will be dry all day, nice and fine. Light damage is on today, so rubbing might be racing, but you don't want to damage your car. So stay away from each other will be my advice. We're starting in the afternoon, so we will be racing into the night. Time dilation ×15. Tuning obviously off, balance of power obviously on. Your usual shortcut penalties, etc, etc, and the dreaded 3-second pit lane penalty is also on. Slipstream real as you would expect. So everyone is out there chucking some times down. I expect this to be a 2-stopper. A minimum, well, it's got to be a 2-stopper because you've got to put you have 3 different tyre compounds. But I imagine everyone will just 2-stop this race. I can't see many going for a 3-stop here, unless they're planning on a very short stint on those hard tyres. I imagine that everyone will want to. Windy. Trying to find someone that's who's that there? Oh, let's go with Harmonist. There we go. Doing on board with Harmonist. So just coming around the back section. Tricky little bit of the racetrack this is actually. So around you go. This corner coming up now. This is key. Really key to a good lap, and he's slowing it down, hasn't he? So you want to get round, it's got to get turned as quickly as possible. You want to use all the road and get on that power nice and quickly. You're on that right hand side of the track, although he's for some reason going straight down the middle. But you want to drift over to the right hand side here. You're looking for that little board there, get your brakes on, get turned in. You want to clip this apex and stay wide because you've got a braking. Little dab just to get it turned in, clip that apex, and then you are full power round to the left. Or round to the right, round to the left. You just want to avoid going too far over that white line. You might get a penalty there. Clip that, might need that sausage, and hard on the power there as well. So you should be, that entire section, you should be taking completely flat out. You head down the hill to this beautiful, beautiful banked right hand turn. You don't need a lot of brake here because the bank helps you round. So a little dab, get it turned in, get it changed down to third, but you let the banking pull you around the corner. Don't worry too much about going slowly there. Again, another flat out corner, nice and early getting in that turn, hug that left hand side. You've got a little turn here, again flat out, let it drift off to the left, that 100-metre board just after, get those brakes slammed on, get it turned in, let it drift as wide as you dare without track limits. Another little lift, right hand turn, left hand turn at full power, and you are down to the final turn, where you're looking for that little lamppost there, little touch of brake on that power, and away you go to complete a lap at Lago Maggiore. And that is not a bad lap as it happens. 206, 206. Oh, that was a 210. That can't be right. No, surely it wasn't. That was a 206 something. So fastest up at the moment is a 2052 from Stormfly, the current championship leader. There he is. It is dark side. Loving, look at the livery on that car. It's a beautiful, beautiful Darth Vader livery all over that. Thing of beauty. Let's have a look at Wendigo. Monster Energy Hoonigan car. He's got his Lithuanian flag on the side there. He's got a Darwin Racing Evolution tag on his car. Have a word, mate. Get that off your car, buddy. You can't wear that in here. Old man Jay. He's got his slow driver on the back, just to warn everybody. He's switched to the Caymans though, strangely. There is Anthony Grizz Troopers. Beautiful, beautiful livery on that car. Sporting the American flag on the top, as you would expect. Little stormtrooper on the front. There we go. 5'8" Italia. Already scraping a wall by the looks of things. But there we go. So he's done a very bare minimum on that livery there, but he has got his name on it. Oh, where are we going? Wrong button. Sorry about that, folks. Wrong button again. There we go. Arminist, there he is. He's remembered the correct livery. He's got the black flag stuff on there with the Falcon. So that's a GT racing inspired livery there. Oh, for God's sake. I'm all fingers and thumbs today with the buttons. I think that's everyone. Nick John Baker. He's gone for the 458 Italia as well. Interesting choice. People rocking that Ferrari today. Milkman, we know he's got no livery on the car. We'll let him know that he needs to get one. But saying that, having no livery isn't worse than having the DRE livery on your car. Wendigo, man, naughty, naughty. Who else? Wiggy. There's Wiggy with his, I can't look around his car because he's in the pits. So it looks like we've got 9 in the room today. So yeah, Stormfly, Wendigo, Milkman, Avalon Shadow, Harmonist, Grizz Troopers, Old Man J, Nick John Baker, and currently second in the league table, Wiggy. No Kevin tonight by the looks of things. So, what are we looking at? We're about a minute away. A minute away before we start getting on with it. So, look, a bit of time to tell you what's coming up. Tomorrow we have, and I haven't actually done the videos yet, because there's 3 of them and I haven't really had the time. But basically, it's quite an interesting little tournament. Yes, there we go. Elmer Jason starting in 5 minutes. Yeah, it's quite an interesting little tournament. So you have a GR4, a GR3, and a GRB car. There are 3 20 or 30 minutes, I can't remember, 20 or 30 minute races. But each race you have to use a different compound of tyres. So you use soft, medium, and hard. You choose which race you want to use them in. It's entirely up to you, and you use that entire tyre for that particular race. If you use the softs, your points are just as standard. If you use the mediums, your points are doubled, and if you use the hards, your points are tripled. So, do you go for your best track with hard tyres and hope that everybody else around you is not super quick on the softs and go for maximum triple points, or do you use your softs on your best track and absolutely melt it round, knowing you're only going to get single points though? Really cool little tournament. That one is slightly earlier start time than our usual 8 PM. But check it out on Discord. I did a massive overhaul of Discord today. If you can't find a race now, you're going to struggle to drive, let alone anything else. I've made it very easy for everyone to find it. Evening, Rodders. I haven't seen you on track for a while, mate, since last week. You're not racing this week, no? And how you doing, Phil? Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a good laugh. So what else we got? Mondays we've got nothing on. Mondays at the moment is a training day. We do want to keep one day a week free at the moment, just to give people a chance to practice some of the tracks, because the races come thick and fast at the minute. So let's have a look what we got. So Monday is Tuesday. Tuesday we have, and I'm looking in the wrong place completely. Tuesday the Garage Showcase. That's the 10 race sprint series, 10 different vehicles, right from trucks through to single seaters. We are on to the Mini Cooper S65 at Brands Hatch this week, on comfort tyres, so that's going to be a crash fest. That'll be fun. And that's a fastest first and the slowest first, 2 sprint races, one after the other. Wednesday we are back to the phenomenally popular, very popular GRB series, and this is the one that seems to have given us the best on-screen action of any of our races, because the strategies are just so different. And anyone wants to catch the stream from Wednesday, you've got to check it out. PM10 from last gets himself into the top 3, makes an audacious lunge on Wiggy to try and steal first into the corkscrew. Absolutely royally cocks it up, and ends up losing second to Avalon. Still comes in third, so good job. But no, great mistake, should I say? Good spin. Thursday is the second round of the European Open. That is European GR3 cars on European tracks, and you've basically got a little bonus that you so kind of like playing a Joker, but when your car is racing at home, you get double points. So if you're in a Jaguar, you would have got double points at Goodwood last week. Can't remember where we are this week, to be fair. I think we're in Spain. I could be wrong. Let me just check quick. Where are we this week? Oh, no, we're in Spain next week. We're in Italy this week for Sardenga A in reverse. So if you've got an Alfa, a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, it's your double points term. So see how we get on Thursday. Then Friday we are back to the McGann Trophy, which it basically started from. It wasn't really a planned thing. We sort of went into Friday thinking, oh, we'll just hook up and chuck a few cars around the track and have a couple of drinks and and then all of a sudden it just turned into a brand new eight race series. Well, I think it's an 8 race series in the Renault McGanns. Pretty awesome race, couple of races last night, and then of course next Saturday we're back for round 6 of Black Flag Bullshit. But before we get to round 6, we've got to do round 5, and this is round 5 from Lego Maggiore of the Black Flag Bullshit tournament. Look at him lighting the tyres up on that Supra. I do like the colour of that actually. A nice matte black on that Toyota Supra. Now, what tyre is everyone going to start on? Looks to me like Jay's going to start on the hards. Is that a wise choice? Now, we know they're going to be slower than the other tyres, but you can go a bit longer. Maybe Jay is looking to get them out of the way because he started on 60 litres. So maybe he wants to get them out of the way, get them off the car when they come in, and yeah, that's it. So here we go. So the qualifying is over. Stormfly is on pole. Wendigo joins him on the front row. Wiggin and Arminis, row 2. Milkman and Avalon, row 3. Grizz Troopers, Nick John Baker on row 4. And Old Man Jay on row 5. So we've got 9 out there today. We lost one that was going around in practice. And we've had that problem again. There we go. No, it's actually worked this time. So everyone away very well. Let's turn off the car names, put on the driver names so we'll see where everyone is. Stormfly away well. Wendigo in second. Maintains second. Arminis in third. Was there a little touch with Wiggy there? Wiggy just loses out to Grizz Troopers. Dropping down the order. Milkman having a look up the inside. Doesn't make it count. Wiggy stays ahead. Milkman having another look at him though. Again, not able to get round Wiggy. Avalon Shadow tucked in behind that battle at the moment. And he can see the battle ahead. He can see Milkman all over the back of Wiggy. Stormfly, Wendigo, Arminis out in front at the moment. Wiggy having a look at Grizz Troopers up the inside. He goes through. Milkman goes through. Avalon goes through. Milkman also goes through. And Wiggy up into 4th place. What a double overtake there from Milkman. Absolutely phenomenal double overtake. You see Wiggy just dropping in behind. And Avalon now just following up these two. Behind we've got Grizz Troopers. Was in 4th. And in the space of one corner drops all the way down to 7th. Nick John Baker now trying to put a challenge in on Grizz. Is he going to lose another place? We've seen Nick John Baker actually dumped the Ferrari and gone with the Alfa 155. So that's his car till the end of the season now. But another one without livery on it. Naughty guys. You should know better, mate. He doesn't get close enough to Grizz. I think the problem with this Alfa is great round corners, but it doesn't have that straight line speed. And round here, round Lego Maggiore, that's exactly what you need. You need a good bit of straight line speed. So if Grizz can keep in that slipstream of Avalon Shadow, he could find himself being protected from Nick John Baker. And Old Man Jay on the hard tyres at the rear of the pack. He's 2 seconds back already, but he's the only one starting on those hard tyres. So he might, this might play into his hands coming later into the race. Stormfly is 1.7 seconds clear now of Wendigo. Wendigo, Arminis, the 2 Lithuanians, just a second between them. And at the moment we are WRX, Toyota. So WRX in the top 3 spots here just shows just what a dominant car that WRX can be. Wiggy in the Corvette C7. Just sitting on the back there of Milkman. Milkman had a brilliant slipstream off the back of Wiggy, which enabled him to follow Wiggy through on Grizz Troopers and then catapult himself past Wiggy with a great exit. Avalon Shadow just settling into his his usual routine of conserving fuel. Back there in 6th place. Just starting to pull away a little bit from Nick John Baker, who has now got around Grizz Troopers. Is he able to pull away from Grizz Troopers? The gap at the moment is only, well, not even half a second. So this battle is going to rage on. Grizz Troopers absolutely melting it behind him. Old Man Jay dropping well off the pace. But remember, he's going to be fuel saving, and he's gone on those racing hard tyres. So he's on a very different strategy than most. So we're on lap 2 at Lago Maggiore. Who's got the penalty there? Someone has. Milkman's got a penalty. He needs to get that served. It's a half-second penalty. Not quite sure how big the impact is here. I haven't checked it. But we're about to find out just how big an impact a half-second penalty is around Lago Maggiore. I'm trying to remember where that penalty line is actually. I'm pretty sure it's on the the sort of straight going down the hill before you go into the twisty. You've got that big sort of bank, not the big right-hander, but the other right-hander. Turn 4, turn 5. Hang on, where are we? 1, 2, turn 4. Yeah, before you get into turn 4, I think it's on that downhill run there. I could be wrong. We'll soon find out. Turn 5, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, turn 5. So half a second. The gap to Wiggy is 1 second. If he maintains that gap, I don't think he can keep Wiggy at bay when he serves that penalty. It's certainly not going to be as impactful as Spa, which is ridiculous, or Interlagos, also another ridiculous one. But I think you're probably still going to lose a second and a half for every half-second penalty. About 3 times as much as the penalty itself. So watch those track limits, guys. So there we go. We see Wiggy closing up that gap. He knows that Milkman's got a penalty. So he's closing, and he's just putting in a purple sector. So the thingy line wasn't where I thought it was. So we go up the hill now. Milkman desperately trying to pull away a bit of a gap. He's on the back of Arminis at the minute, but he's desperately trying to pull a gap on Wiggy to avoid losing out when he serves that penalty. And I'm sure we've got penalty line's got to be somewhere. Here we go. It's around here somewhere, isn't it? There it is. Yeah, there's quite a horrible place. It's down under the bridge. You're at full pelt, serving the penalty. Wiggy just breezes past. Absolutely breezes past. Avalon Shadow. Too far back. He's already 3.5. By the time he's gone around here, about 3.5 seconds back from the rest. Great corner though he's just taken. Absolutely fabulous way to take that bank turn. Didn't lose any speed at all. Nick John Baker just dropping off the back of that battle. But under no pressure at the moment from Grizz Troopers. Old Man Jay closed that gap a little bit to Grizz Troopers. So the back marker battles are on. They are on, guys. The back marker battles. No change to the top 3. Stormfly's opened up a 3.2 second lead. Absolutely melting it. Wendigo 3.5 to Arminis. So these guys have settled in to a very, very quick rhythm. Stormfly with a 2:04 fastest lap at the moment. Excuse me for a minute, I'll have a drink. It's bloody warm, isn't it, guys? I feel for any of you who are cooped up in a loft racing at the minute. I know there's a few of you that have a rig up in the loft, and it's killer. It's absolute killer. I don't know how anyone can stand it, but it is what it is. Right, where are we? Stormfly in the lead. The gap's over 4 seconds now. That's quite a gap to pull out. We're only on lap 4, so he's putting out a second lap on Wendigo. Wendigo doing a good job to stay in the fight there, but he himself has pulled out 4 seconds on Arminis. And it's good. These Lithuanian guys have really brought a kind of another level to the races here. You know, we've got some really good racers among them, and it's really what it's done is, you know, we've always had our fast guys, we've had our midfield guys, we've had our guys at the rear, but these guys seem to have slotted in around that. So they've obviously got their really quick guys that challenge out the front. They've got their midfield guys, and I think it really kind of ties everyone in together. Been a welcome addition to the crew, shall we say? But I'm tempted to give Wendigo a slap on the wrist for darkening our lobby with a Darwin Racing Evolution sticker on his car. But there we go, it is what it is. We're not going to start handing out penalties for that kind of thing, unless it's a consistent thing. He probably just forgot, to be honest. Right, so there's Wiggy. Wiggy is, he's in third now. He has just got past Arminis. So Armin is starting to drop into the clutches of Milkman as well. So Wiggy moving up the order into the top three. He is still almost 5 seconds back from Wendigo. Armin is hanging on though. We're in that WRX. Fuel-wise, not much difference in comparison. Although Armin seems to have taken a little bit more out of his tyres. But we know this WRX is a little bit harder on the tyres than everyone else. Milkman, there he is. In that black Toyota Supra, sticking on the back of Arminis. He was having a great battle with Wiggy. Did get past Wiggy, but Wiggy's retaken that position. And the next one is Milkman going to be able to keep up that charge on Wiggy, or is Arminis going to regain third place? Avalon Shadow just closing up behind them, 2.3 seconds back. Loads and loads of fuel though. He is not going to be pitting until somewhere around lap 10. Phenomenal driving from him in that 458. And we know that 458 can be quite a thirsty car. So to be saving fuel as he has done, that's very good. And that's a beautiful shot there of Grizz Troopers going down the hill. He is now 11 seconds behind Avalon Shadow. Pit window open, lap 7, lap 8 I think, is when we should expect to start seeing people pitting. So I think anywhere between lap 7 and lap 10 is our initial pit window. Old man Jay, he's not at the back of the pack anymore. He is in 8th. He's 24 seconds clear of Nick John Baker. Nick John Baker went in very, very early. Not quite sure why he went in so early. He couldn't have burnt his fuel already. The Alpha's pretty good on fuel. I expected he would have been better. And I take it back, you have got a livery on your car. I didn't see that on the side there, mate. My bad. So he's 24.7 seconds back, and he's got that dreaded pit box penalty. Let's just see how much time it actually costs when he gets to this penalty line. So he is, for a hundredth of a second, he is 24 seconds behind Jay. So we'll see him slow down now. You would expect with a 3-second penalty, it should put you somewhere around 27 seconds back. But it's still opening up. He's still getting up to speed. So into the braking zone. 28 seconds. So actually you don't lose as much. So you only lost about 4 seconds there for that penalty. Who is in? Wendigo. Wendigo in from second place. That promotes Wiggy up into second. Milkman up into third. He's managed to get around Arminis. Arminis with a penalty as well. And Avalon Shadow for company. He might find himself dropping down this order now into the midfield. Stormfly staying out. As I said the pit window was lap 7 onwards, but a few of these guys are going a bit sooner than I thought. It looks like the WRX guys are already struggling on those tyres. So Wiggy, he's got another lap in him. He's going to be a lap 7 pitter, surely. Milkman, he may come in this lap. It doesn't look like he's got enough to certainly be racing. And he's under pressure from Arminis. So maybe it's a good time, actually. He's going to be under pressure, but Arminis is about to serve a penalty. Will Avalon get through? Not quite sure there's enough of a penalty for him to get there, but he will get closer. Avalon will stay out. He's not pitting anytime soon. But as I said, pit window open. It's a 60-minute race, 60 minutes. Unlike the last week, we accidentally set a 50-minute race. So I was talking about people's really odd strategies, and it turns out that there was nothing odd about the strategies at all, because they were only racing for 50 minutes. Grizz Troopers. Gap is 15 seconds now. So the back marker battles, Grizz Troopers, Old Man Jay, Nick John Baker, have well and truly run themselves now. Wendigo comes out. It's quite an awkward place to come out, to be fair, from the pit. He's gone softs again, so he's going racing again. He is going to be pitting again in 6 laps time. So around lap 12. But he's cut that gap to Grizz Troopers down to 5 seconds. So I'm sure he'll make light work of that battle and get himself back up the order. As we see Stormfly, Arminus, Milkman and Wiggy all into the pits, which promotes Avalon Shadow in that Ferrari 458 up into the lead. And then Wendigo, as everyone else peels into the pits, slots back in second place. He is 19 seconds. 19 seconds behind Avalon Shadow. Stormfly comes out behind him. The undercut is strong here. Saying that though, Stormfly has gone for a full tank and he's put on the racing hards. Wendigo's going to have to pit again in 5 or 6 laps. So while the undercut has worked for him for track position, whether he stays there for any length of time is another matter. Wiggy back out in 4th. So really difficult to see where people start. People on very different strategies. Wiggy's also gone for the full tank and the racing hard tyres. So both him and Stormfly are in it for the long haul. What about Milkman? What did Milkman do? Milkman's gone for exactly the same strategy. So it looks like these challenges for the front of the pack are all very, very similar in terms of strategy. Arminus has also gone full tank racing hards. So they're saving the mediums for later on in the race and going for a very, very long second stint. Nick John Baker in 7th. He's gone for you and for almost a full tank and went for the racing mediums. He still needs to run those hard tyres. So he's on the mediums at the moment, looking to do a relatively long stint on those mediums. Now, I wonder if those tyres will hold out. They're not bad on the Alpha. They're not quite as bad as the WRX, but there are cars that are better at looking after tyres than the Alpha. Grizz Troopers, he's in that WRX. He's also gone for the mediums. So they're looking at putting in a little bit of pace. Old Man Jay's done the same. He's ditched those hard tyres though. He's in a unique position. He is the only person that started on the hard tyres. He doesn't have to run them now. Oh, a big slide from Jay. Loses the back end of that Porsche Cayman and straight into the wall in Paul Walker style. Now, bear in mind, there is light damage turned on, and you can see the flashing at the front of his car where he's got some damage. Now, does he race now with that little loss of power that damage is going to cause, or does he go in the pits and get that repaired? I think at this stage, you're probably better off staying out. I'm not sure the losses is that great. In terms of pit times, in terms of lap times, 2:12, 2:11, 2:12, not bad lap times. Grizz Troopers though, a couple of seconds faster. But bear in mind that Old Man Jay was running the hard tyres, so if we'll have a bit of a representative time to look at soon because they're both now running the mediums. Obviously, Old Man Jay not going to get a good lap that lap because of the spin. Nick John Baker has been as quick as a 2:08 on the soft tyres. 2:07.4 as well. Very, very solid time. It's only 3 seconds off the lead, which is pretty damn good showing, to be fair. But consistency is not his strong point. 2:08, 2:07 looking really good. 2:47. I think that was his pit lap 4, didn't he? So he pit lap 4. Then he did a 2:11, 2:09. So on the medium times, he just slowed down a little bit. Armin is very, very consistent. Look at that. 2:07s, low 2:07s to high 2:08s with the odd 2:09 chucked in there. So he's got a bit of consistency going for him there. Milkman's quick. We can see that. 2:05.6 is his quickest time. He's been really consistent, along with Wiggy, who has 2:05.6. Very similar. These guys are lapping at very similar times. I can see these guys having a bit of a battle as we get further into the race. So Avalon Shadow has pit. He's come back out on the medium tyres. He's not going for a super long stint though. Or maybe he is. He's just going to do it with less fuel than everybody else. But he comes back out in 3rd. So he has actually benefited from staying out longer. So the overcut working very well for Avalon, with the undercut working very well for Wendigo. Very, very, but the undercut with Wendigo is slightly anomalous because he put a lot less fuel in than Stormfly. I think if he fueled as much as Stormfly had and looked to go long, then he probably would be in second place still. But the gap from Avalon Shadow to Stormfly is 10, nearly 11 seconds. The gap to Wendigo, where Wendigo opted to go for the soft tyres and go for it, 8 seconds. So a good distance ahead of Stormfly. But can he get a big enough distance to make it worthwhile? Stormfly is going a long run here. He's done 3/4. He's done a quarter of a tank already. He's still got 3/4 left. But he's now going to run probably 2. What are we looking at? So he's done 3 laps since he pit. I think we're looking at somewhere around lap 18. I think somewhere around. I think lap 18 is going to be the pit window here for Stormfly. Somewhere there or thereabouts. Wendigo, his pit window is opening again very soon. 3 laps left for him before he is back in for fresh tyres. He's still got to run the mediums. He's still got to run the hards. So this is no 2-stopper for Wendigo. This is a many stop race. And it's so annoying that we got a guy in the lead sporting those particular colours. But, you know, they say all advertising is good advertising, isn't it? Well, not in this case. So Stormfly in second still. The gap not really changing. Everyone's settling into a little bit of a rhythm, but he does still have the fastest lap of a 2:04.3. Squeal of those tyres on that WRX. See the back end just trying to step out, and he gets it under control very, very quickly. Avalon Shadow in third place, 12 seconds behind. But at the moment, not really under much pressure from Wiggy. He's on the medium tyres, getting those out of the way. Still has the hards to run. But Wiggy behind him is running the hard tyres and lapping comparably to Avalon on those mediums. How much more have those mediums got in comparison to the softs? Are they a viable tyre to drag out a little bit longer on this track? Or are they, like on most tracks, just basically soft tyres with an extra lap or 2 in them? You know, with the hards, you can really push the hards quite long on most tracks here, regardless of the car and how abrasive the car is on tyres. But you can't seem to do that really with the mediums. The mediums tend, from my experience, tend to only have 1 or 2 more laps in them than the softs, and the time you lose by using them doesn't often bear judgment really to use them instead of the softs. But there he is in third, making them work for him right now. There's Wiggy in fourth. Arminis head of Milkman now into 5th place. So there's a good battle going on at the moment between Wiggy, Arminis, Milkman. Wendigo, Stormfly out front. Avalon, Wiggy, Arminis, Milkman, I think are going to be the ones fighting for that 3rd spot. Although it really depends on Wendigo's strategy. If he's going lots of short, quick stints, and that is a very, very, very early stop. I said his pit window was open at lap 12. He's gone in already. Stormfly already through. Well, he will be in a second. Just coming round now. Yeah, he's through. Stormfly is through into first. Avalon Shadow through into second. This is looking like a bit of a disaster for Wendigo. I think his plan was to try and pull a big lead on those softs, but it hasn't worked out for him, and he finds himself still in the pits. Where's Nick John Baker? Is he going to be behind Nick John Baker? So Wendigo now putting on those racing hard tyres. Is he out in time? He is just out ahead of Nick John Baker, but he's got 10 seconds to catch Milkman in 5th place. So it hasn't worked out for him at all, right down the order. Although now he's on those hards, he can run significantly longer than everybody else. Certainly not to the end of this race. So this will be a full stopper for Wendigo, but he will certainly run a distance. He still has to run though the medium tyre. I forgot what it was called. Yes, the medium tyre. He still has to operate. So Milton, pace-wise, very solid. Not much difference in pace between the softs and the hards. A little bit quicker, obviously, on the softs as you would expect, but not a significant difference. He is 1.4 seconds behind Arminis, his fellow Lithuania countryman. I'm assuming they're both in the UK, bearing in mind they've got a British flag, but just Lithuanians. Big Lithuanian community here, actually, so hello all you Lithuanians around the world, and particularly those that are watching. Arminis is 2.4 seconds behind Wiggy. They all seem to have settled into just a little rhythm now, really. Not looking at pushing anything too hard. Fuel saving mode on is probably the order of the day at the moment. Sorry, just having a drink there. Avalon Shadow really benefited from the overcut. Found him in second place, and 14 seconds though behind Stormfly. Yeah, 14 seconds. He is 3 seconds up from Wiggy, but the gap isn't really getting any bigger or smaller. Very similar in terms of lap times between those two. Stormfly, however, is absolutely on fire. 206, 206, 206 on the hard tyre. Fastest lap at 2:04.3. So he's literally just got back from holiday, and lying on a beach has not in any way mellowed him out, slowed him down. He is still quick as shit. But there we go. 14 seconds clear. How we do the back? Old man Jay, still running those medium tyres. He's almost a pit stop now behind Grid Troopers. So running those hards really benefited him much? Doesn't seem to me that they did. I think it really depends when. I was going to say if Grid Troopers or Nick John Baker were going to pit a lot earlier, but they're not really. Grid Troopers going to pit around the same time. They're both on the mediums. The only real benefit Jay's going to have is that Grid Troopers does still have to run those hard tyres. So Jay's going to have an opportunity on the softs to try and claw back some of that time. And it is, I think, a consistency issue. He had a couple of really bad laps earlier at 2 minutes 50 or 2:22 or 2:22. He can put in steady. I mean, look at that, 2:09. So there is some pace in there for him. And there's some regular 2:11s. So, you know, he's certainly got the pace to beat Grizz, and certainly faster than him. Yeah, in terms of the fastest lap, he is faster than Grizz Troopers, but is he fast enough? So it is pretty sad, isn't it, Mr. Dre, that in this day and age, that you can't put a Lithuanian flag on your car. Well, you can if you go into the livery editor, but you can't put it next to your name on the list. I know a few of you are in the UK, but yeah, it's pretty freaking sad. Oh yeah, you have got that as well. But you should be allowed to change it. I mean, for instance, well, I know he's not racing tonight, but well, Avalon Shadow. I mean, he's a Serbian German. He lives in Spain, so he should be able to use the German flag. And you've got Cool Runnings is Jamaican, but he has to have the Netherlands flag because that's where he is. And then when he moves to the UK, he'll probably have the UK flag. So he should have the Jamaican flag, really. The only one who's really got the flag that he actually has to have is Grizz Troopers. But there we go. Any change out front? Well, no. I mean, it's if anything, he's getting faster. Stormfly, 15, nearly 16 seconds clear now. The gap between Avalon and Wiggy has come down 2.7 seconds. With the gap back to Arminis at 3.5. So Arminis, so that initial battle between Wiggy and Milkman looked like it was going to rage on, but Wiggy just seems to have got the better of him. They've got Arminis in between them, kind of like separating your two rowing siblings. by standing in the middle and keeping them at bay. So Armin is keeping them honest. So Milkman, if he wants to have another go at Wiggy, he's got to get past his compatriot first. And I'm sure Arminus has got something to say about that. So that gap is 2 seconds back to Milkman. Running well though. So what we've got WRX, Ferrari, Corvette, WRX, Toyota, WRX. So although the WRX has showed initial early pace, not so much so as we move into, we're almost at the halfway point. We're half a lap. We're half a lap from halfway through this race. So if the halfway point is at the end of lap 13, then 26 laps it is. Well, 27 laps. I think for these front runners it'll be 27 laps. Maybe 28 if they're well, no, yeah, 28 laps. If you can get to lap 14 at half distance, then you can get to 28 laps at the end of the race. So there's Wendigo. Was a good early front runner. Rather odd strategy to jump in back into the soft tyres, but with only half a tank of fuel, which didn't give him a lot to play with. Couldn't make that work and pull out I think the plan was to pull out a big gap, and in the hope that he wouldn't lose too much, but he couldn't really pull out a gap on Stormfly. Stormfly just too quick in whatever tyres he's using, so it didn't really work out for him. He's now got a very long stint on these racing hards, and he's still got to get those mediums used. Nick John Baker, 7 seconds behind there, starting to pull away from backmarker battles with Goods Troopers and Old Man Jay on those medium tyres. He's going to be pitting again at the end of this lap. So I think we'll see him jump onto those hard tyres and go for his 17 seconds back. Here's Grizz Troopers. The gap hasn't really changed to Old Man Jay. So I call it backmarker battles, but they're not really fighting much at the moment. But on very, very differing strategies. Remember, Old Man Jay's already used those hard tyres. Grizz Troopers still needs to put them on. So as long as Grizz Troopers doesn't pull out a bigger gap here, because they are lapping at very similar times, very similar pace. So they're both on the same tyres, lapping at a similar pace. And see Avalon Shadow diving into the pits for his second stop. And it's a lot earlier than I thought he would do. So he hasn't saved fuel much in that stint. He's burnt those mediums, he's getting rid of those. He's now going to go on the hard tyres. How much fuel is he going to run on those hard tyres? This is key. Is he going to fill up to the brim? There's no point watching it. See Wendigo go through, Milton go through, Arminis through, Wiggy through. So Nick John Baker in the pits to get rid of those medium tyres. So Avalon on the hards. Grizz Troopers will come through on Nick John Baker, I think. Yes, he will. I don't know if Old Man Jay's close enough. I don't think he is. So Nick John Baker drops to 8th place. Grizz Troopers through into 7th. Avalon comes back out. 3/4 tank on the hard tyres. He's in 6th place. He is also going to need to stop again. He will not take those tyres to the end. It just can't be done. Absolutely can't be done. Wendigo burning off those hard tyres now. He's got probably another 5. So lap 20. I think lap 20 is his window. What he needs to ideally, he only got 4 or 5, I think 4 laps out of the softs with half a tank in the first stint. So I think he's going to have to think about how, if he can take the softs to sort of 6 or 7 laps in the WRX. I mean, I'm sure he can. But he's got to think about putting the right amount of fuel in. Half a tank won't be enough when it comes to sort of using them at the end. We'll see. We'll see what his ploy will be. But I certainly don't think he can take the softs to the end at this stop. So he's going to have to stop again because he needs the mediums, obviously. But then will he run the softs towards the end? Is what I'm asking essentially. Once he's run the mediums, will he give himself like a 4 or 5 lap blast on the soft tyres? And will it pay off? Milkman on those hards, maintaining quite a good pace as well, just off the back of Arminis, 1.2 seconds, and it's all about sitting in there and waiting for an error, really, at this stage of the race. You know, once you pass this halfway point and you've kind of settled into your rhythm, you need to really kind of start focusing on your strategy, because if you're looking at crazy moves at this point of the race, and you know everyone's saving fuel a little bit, a crazy dive up the inside at this stage, particularly when you've got damage on, is it's not going to help anybody. You know, you can not only ruin your own race but ruin somebody else's, and only have half hour left to do it. You know, you make that dive and it goes horribly wrong, you've still got the whole race ahead of you to try and salvage something. But the deeper you get in, the less you start thinking about crazy manoeuvres. That is something you'd save for further down the line when you're taking less risk, I suppose. Less risk. It's risk to reward, isn't it? Can you gain an extra 2 or 3 points by making that dive in the last few laps? But at the moment, steady pace for them. He's keeping it just under a second. Obviously, the gap opens up, he'll take it. But I can't imagine he's going to do anything silly at this stage. Arminis also on those hard tyres. I think Millman did have a little look there, but Arminis maintained a good line around that beautiful bank turn. So we're comfortable at the moment in second. He is 17 seconds off Stormfly. The gap not really opening up. Stormfly settled into a very, very consistent rhythm in the mid 207s, mid to high 207s that is. So he's managing his race at the moment. Wiggy, he's probably got, I don't know if he'll come in this lap. He's certainly got another lap worth of fuel if he needs it. Will he pull over to that left hand side and go in and get rid of those hard tyres, or stay out for one more lap? No, he's had enough of those hard tyres. He's going in and he's going to change out, and he'll be putting on the medium tyres next, I think. So Milkman through with a 1 second penalty behind Arminis. Not going to be able to overtake him with that. Arminis through. Stormfly now 21.5 seconds in the lead. He's still got a couple of laps before he is pitting. I said lap 20. And maybe slightly off. I think maybe lap 19. He could take it to lap 20. There's no question about that. Avalon's the one to watch. He's been working on the overcut every time, and he did really well over the overcut last time. He's in 5th at the moment. Everybody in front of him still needs to pit. How close can he get out behind him? It'd be interesting to see now how that plays out, because Wiggy is 3 seconds behind Avalon Shadow. We do know Avalon Shadow needs to come in, but he doesn't need to come in for some time. In fact, it won't be long before Wiggy has to go in again straight after that. So Wiggy running those mediums, he's going to be having a stint on the softs towards the end of this race, I feel. Or is he? Can he? Are we at the stage now where you can take the medium tyres to the end without filling up to the brim? I mean, I think it's a quarter of a tank of fuel for 3, maybe 4 laps at a push. I mean, it's certainly doable. It's 12 laps, which would take us to 29. I don't know. I think we'll up at what we're looking at, 28. It's possible, you know. I think it's doable. It's a 28 lap race. I certainly think it's doable. We will see if Wiggy is going to hold this out to the end. Avalon Shadow certainly can't, I don't think. But he's proved me wrong before. So Stormfly, is he coming in this lap? Certainly looks to me like he will be. He's gone on a bit of a charge. But so Arminis and Milkman both in. So Wiggy, Wendigo, Avalon, they'll both go. Wendigo, there he goes. He's through. 31 seconds back from Stormfly. Avalon Shadow just coming round the final turn. He will get through. How far ahead though? Where's Arminis? Arminis is still there. Wiggy also through by the looks of it. Arminis is still there. Milkman's still there. So Wiggy gets through. Nick John Baker, he's going to be too far back, surely. Yeah, he's a minute back. We'll have a look at the back markers in a minute to see where they're faring. So there we go. So Arminis is out Is Milkman out? Not yet. Arbalest comes out ahead. So, Stormfly now 31 seconds clear. Not quite an entire pit stop, but not far off it. Wendigo 13 seconds ahead of Avalon Shadow. Wendigo running those hard tyres. He's got another 3, probably lap 20, 21. Actually 21, 22. We'll see him jumping in and changing out the racing hard tyres, putting on the mediums that he has to run still, and probably running to the end, I think. I think there's no benefit to running only a couple of laps of those mediums and then switching to the softs at that stage. Avalon in third. He's used all the mandatory tyres now. I think he's going for a splash and dash charge late on. It's not that I don't doubt his credibility at fuel saving. Just there's no way you can fuel save just over a quarter of a tank of fuel for 22 minutes. Just not going to happen. Wiggy could go to the end, could he? It's so bloody hot. He could go to the end. I think it's brave. I'm not sure you can maintain this kind of pace and go to the end, but we'll see. Arbalest is definitely going to the end on those mediums. He will not need to pit again. He should be able to run that right out to the end. Now, will that, as we see Stormfly into the pits for his final stop, he's going to finish the race on the medium tyres, I think. So, has Arbalest played a bit of a blinder? Him and Milkman both on the medium tyres, so not quite as bad as the hards. But are those tyres going to hold out that long? Is there 20 minutes in those tyres? 10 laps, with essentially 10 laps. Is there 10 laps in those medium tyres to get them to the end of the race? There's certainly enough fuel to get them there, but the question is whether the tyres will hold out. We'll see. I mean, the Arbalest particularly is in the WRX, and the WRX does not look after tyres well. Milkman in the Toyota, slightly better on tyres, but it depends how you're driving it. And if these two are in a battle for track position, it could come into play that you're burning your tyres trying to defend or attack. Back marker battles, what are we looking at? Nick John Baker, kind of the best of the rest really. 27 seconds back from Milkman, under no real pressure at all, ahead or behind from Grizz Troopers. Grizz Troopers 21 seconds back. He will need to stop again, will Nick John Baker. Will Grizz Troopers? Grizz Troopers can, if he's smart, he can take those tyres to the end of this race. There may just be enough fuel to do that. And I'm sure you can hear the cry of Spider in the hallway from my missus. But I can't see it and I can't get up. I apologise for the noise in the background. Old Man J, 38 seconds back. Right, I'm going to go and kill a spider. I will be back very shortly. Seriously, what is wrong with you? You're sitting with a fucking shoe. What? Hit it with a shoe when it comes out. Apologies for that, guys. House full of girls, let's scream if it's on this spider. To be fair, it was fucking massive. Anyway, where are we? What did I miss? I'm keeping an eye on where it went, so if it comes out again, I might dive and grab it. So Stormfly in the lead, but only now by 4.2 seconds. He comes out of the pits. He's on the medium tyres. He is fueled not only just to go to the end, but to go to the end at pace. So interesting. Wiggy's going to have to stop again. So that 4.2 seconds, he needs to not only close that gap, he needs to get past him, and he needs to open up a bit of a gap because he's got to stop again. Arbalest, he can potentially take this to the end of the race. which may come into play against Wiggy or maybe not Stormfly, because Stormfly can also run to the end. Milkman, there he is. He is 4 seconds back from that top 3 battle. He will also be running to the end, so it's going to be down to a race between him and Arminis. Wendigo, early front runner. We know he was an early front runner, but he had a very odd strategy of trying to be racy, and it didn't really pay off for him. Going on to for a very short second stint, and he finds himself down in 5th place now. Here again, he's running to the end. He's on the medium tyres, using the last of those mandatory tyres. It's going to be down. It's paced between Arminis, Milkman, Wendigo, Avalon as well. Avalon's on the soft zone. He's going to start to up the pace right now. He's on that out left, so we know he's going to be racy. So I think we're going to be looking at a really good battle between Arminis, Milkman, Wendigo, and Avalon Shadow. Nick John Baker, 16 seconds back. He is on the hard tyres and might need to stop again. I don't know if he can take those to the end of the race. Gridge Trooper's also on the hards. He's got probably just enough fuel. But there's Old Man J. Old Man J has got fuel to get to the end. He's on the racing softs. The question is whether that spider's not even there. It's under the door frame there. Sorry, Old Man J is 42 seconds back. But it's a question of whether those racing softs can make it to the end of this race. I think that's going to be the key. If he can chuck out some decent pace, he might close on Gridge Troopers. But Gridge Troopers is not dropping too much off, even though he's on the racing hard tyres. I think Jay's got to rely on Gridge Troopers burning through some fuel and having to slow down. Well, so much for Wiggy catching Stormfly. Stormfly's 5, it's nearly 6 seconds clear of Wiggy, and Wiggy's going to have to stop again. Under the door frame there.
This bit?
No, the door frame in the kitchen, yeah. So I can kill it. Right, so Wiggy is 13 seconds clear of Arminis GT. He's 5 seconds clear of Milk. And I don't know if you guys can hear the panic in the background, right? It was quite a big spider, but they're all freaking out over the spider and not just leaving it alone. It's fucked off underneath a door frame now. They can't get to it. But what they don't realise, they probably eat 10 spiders at night while they're sleeping. Idiots. But anyway, back to this race. Arminis, 5 seconds clear of Milkman, who is under significant pressure now from Wendigo. Wendigo is climbing all over the back of Milkman, clearly looking for something to drink. Wendigo, we know Wendigo's quick. He was very quick in the early stint. He just had that inexplicable strategy of 2 really short first stints. But at the moment, Wendigo not getting close enough to make the overtake. Has Milkman just upped the pace a little bit on those mediums? They're all running. So Arminis, Milkman, Wendigo, all running the medium tyres. They've got some danger from behind in Avalon Shadow. Avalon Shadow he's pulled out a 2055, but settled into a 2071. But at the moment, Wendigo lapping a little bit quicker. So it's all down to whether Avalon can just up that pace now on those softs, or while Wendigo is struggling with getting past Milkman, will that send them backwards towards Avalon? I think these guys need to, between themselves, get this sorted out. Who is the quickest? Nick John Baker, 20 seconds behind Avalon on the racing hards. He's got to stop again. He's not going to be involved in that battle with Avalon. He may be under some pressure from Gridge Troopers. Gridge Troopers is 31 seconds behind, and it's longer than 31 seconds for a pit stop. So, at the moment, Gridge Troopers is looking good for a 7th place finish here. Apologise for the noise in the background again. Grid Troopers is 37 seconds ahead of Old Man J. So that gap is coming down. Old Man J is, let me look at that, 2:08.3. He was 6. Yeah, you heard it, 6 seconds quicker than Grid Troopers on that last lap. Now, if he is 6 seconds quicker on every lap between now and the end of the race, he only needs 6 laps to catch him. That's the truth of the matter. He needs 6 laps to catch him if he's 6 seconds faster a lap every lap. So this is still game on for Old Man J. It's just a question of whether those tyres will hold out long enough. And I'll tell you what he could do with here. He could do with a bit of slipstream from Stormfly. So if Stormfly can get by him, he can jump in his slipstream, save a little bit of fuel, save those tyres a little bit, and maybe just make that 36 seconds up. So he did a 2:10 that lap. So it's only 4 seconds. It's not quick enough. It's absolutely not quick enough. So Stormfly well in the lead. 7.5 seconds clear of Wiggy. Wiggy's got a long way to go if he's going to try and hang that fuel. I don't see how he can. I don't see how Wiggy can hold out with that fuel. He's going to have to stop surely. Or maybe you know something I don't. I'm sure those blue flags aren't for him. I think they're for Old Man J or Grid Troopers. So here we go. So Nick John Baker in the pits. Grid Troopers coming round the final turn now into the start-finish straight. And there he goes. And it looks to me, it's Nick John Baker. Nick John Baker does just make it out ahead of Grid Troopers. The gap down to 8 seconds. Strangely, he's opted. I think he's not changed the tyres. Personally, I think if I'm going in and having to splash and dash, you may as well stick, for the sake of an extra couple of seconds, stick the softs on and just guarantee it. So if Grid Troopers can up his pace, I mean, at the minute Nick John Baker's doing, he's lapping at 2:09s, 2 seconds slower than Avalon, but certainly quicker than Grid Troopers. Right, so there we go. So Wiggy dives into the pits. It is a splash of fuel, and then he's back out again. So Arminis, 14 seconds back. He comes round the final turn. He will move up into second place. Wendigo just behind him. He should move up into third place. There we go. They are both through. What about Miltman? Is Miltman through? Has Wiggy underfueled and cost himself the race here? Is Avalon through? He is going to be quick though. He's going to be on the softs and he's going to be absolutely having it. So he does get ahead of Avalon Shadow. So Avalon Shadow and Wiggy both going after the Lithuanian guys of Arminis, Wendigo and Miltman. So Wendigo's early pace is starting to pay off into some late race pace too. So to be fair, again, strategy has been coming into play more and more over the last few races. And it does get very difficult to see at times where people fall within, I mean, unless you're Stormfly and you're out front the whole time, but where the strategy sort of sees you fall at the end. But now we see it. I mean, Arminis has done a blinder. At one stage, for me, he looked that he was going to be comfortably midfield, 4th or 5th, in a bit of a battle with probably Wendigo, Miltman, Avalon, those kind of guys. But Arminis finds himself up into second place. He's got the medium tyres on. He's got enough fuel to take him to the end. He's going to have to do a bit of fuel saving to get there. But he's got Miltman behind him in a similar position. Miltman, who just at the moment battling with Wendigo, and Miltman up into third. Wendigo down into 4th place. So Miltman with the pace there. They're both on the racing medium tyres. So Wendigo lapping at 2:07.4, and Miltman's actually lapping a little bit slower, but for some reason has managed to get ahead of Wendigo. I think it depends. I think this lap must have been a quick one, and Wendigo must have had an error on this lap. It's the only explanation there. Where's Wiggy? Wiggy is 5.9 back, and Avalon 1.3 behind him. No pressure from Nick John Baker. And he's actually opened up that gap from Grizz Troopers. Old Man Jay, he is lapping faster, but he's not. But he's had a couple of bad. He's actually had a couple of bad laps there. Yeah, he's not lapping fast enough. He needed to maintain that pace of a 2:08.3. If he's maintaining that pace of a 2:08.3, he is already in the mirror of Grizz Troopers. So I don't think there's going to be any change in the back there, but for an accident. This is what we've got to look at though. So I think we can safely say Stormfly has won this race. It looks to be quite comfortable for my liking. 24 seconds back to Arminis. But we've got 3.6 to Milkman. We've got 2.8 to Wendigo. We've got 2.9 to Wiggy. That was 5 seconds. Half a lap ago, that was 5 seconds. Wiggy turning it on now. 2:05.6 to Wendigo's 2:12.6. He's on softs, remember. Avalon Shadow was 1.9 behind Wiggy. It's now 3.7. So he has not got this end of race pace. They've still got some way to go. And I think Avalon's problem now is fuel. He needs to conserve fuel. Wiggy doesn't. Stormfly doesn't. Arminis just has to keep a little eye on it. As does Milkman. As does Wendigo. Wiggy hasn't got to worry, I don't think. He's absolutely going racing. And look at that. That gap is already down to under a second. He's in the slipstream of that WRX, putting pressure on. And then this horrible feeling. You can't get any more out of the car. And Wiggy just breezes past, but overcooks it, hits the wall, does maintain. Does he? No, he doesn't. Wendigo back into 4th place. Wiggy just overcooking it. He's having another go though. He's still got the pace. He's right up behind him. He's not going to let this go. Absolutely wheel-to-wheel racing from these two. Giving each other just enough respect, just enough room. But Wiggy's determined. Sits in that slipstream. Happy for Wendigo to pull him round there. Wiggy peels out, side by side. It's a drag race to the line. Who's going to come out on top? Wiggy just edging the power in that Corvette just pulls him ahead of Wendigo into 4th place. And Avalon Shadow now getting involved in this battle. So Wiggy getting held up behind Wendigo has brought Avalon Shadow into play. So Avalon Shadow now putting pressure on Wendigo. Wendigo really struggling with those, I think it's those medium tyres. So the decision to not burn out those tyres early is now coming to bite him in the arse, for want of a better expression. Avalon Shadow pulls out of the slipstream into 4.58, breezes past the WRX like it's a Group 3, like he's in a Group 3 car going past him, but he's not. There we go. So Wendigo drops now to 6th place. He's not going to drop back any further. It will take a massive crash to change that now. But he finds himself, despite being an early front runner, back in 6th place. And that gap already put it out. What's the gap now? Wiggy's next target has got to be Milkman in the top 3. He's 5.4 seconds clear. Milkman's not going to be an easy prospect. They're lapping a very similar pace. I think it's only the additional fuel that's going to keep Wiggy in this fight. Milkman on the racing medium tyres, which are pretty damn old now, starting to look a little bit angry. He's got his battle of his own. He is 2 seconds behind Arminis for 2nd place. These two are not content with 2nd and 3rd as they are. Arminis wants to stay where he is. Milkman wants to have something to say about that. So they're having a battle. But while these guys are battling, Wiggy trying to close them down. Avalon Shadow trying to stick with Wiggy and potentially ride his coattails into the top 3 if he can. Wendigo now dropping back 2.7 seconds. Then we go right the way back down the track. Nick John Baker, 20 seconds ahead of Grizz Troopers. Despite not putting faster tyres on when he went into the pits, he's had the pace all day long in that midfield and finds himself 21 seconds clear of Grizz Troopers. The gap is coming down every lap. Old Man Jay lapping faster and faster and faster. But as you see now, there's nothing left of those tyres. There's only a couple of laps left. He's really got nothing left to catch him. He, as I said, he needed 6 seconds a lap and just didn't pull that out. What can we say? Stormfly out in the lead. There's nothing much to say about that. He is there and he's 28 seconds clear. So this battle here, where's Wiggy now? That gap was 5 seconds. It is now 3.3 seconds. with 3.9 back to Avalon. So Avalon now dropping off the pace somewhat. Is staying ahead of Wendigo. Doesn't look to be challenged by him. But he's just have to back off the fuel a little bit just to make sure he makes it to the end. Is Wendigo got a bit of a final charge in him? This is the charge though. Milkman right on the back of Arminis. He is half a second back there. Wiggy is only 2.7 seconds back down the road. So rather than hang around and try and defend, Milkman's decided he's going for second place. Absolutely going for it. Can Arminis keep him at bay? At the moment, Milkman just seems to be so much quicker out of the turns. But Arminis just pulls it out to half a second. But here we go, Milkman looking up the inside. So this WRX doesn't have the straight line speed. Can't defend from these quick in the straight line cars. Arminis does survive, stays ahead. This battle is doing nothing but bringing Wiggy into the fight. As you can see, he's getting closer and closer. We can actually watch the fight from on board with Wiggy. And he must be rubbing his hands together that these two are having such a battle. Arminis doing everything to keep Milkman at bay. He does not want him going past him. He's doing everything he can do. Blocking every single apex. Not leaving any gaps. And here we go, Wiggy closing the gap now to 1 second. Is this battle in front of him going to be the thing that pulls him into the lead? Right, we are on the final lap of the race. Stormfly in first, Arminis second, Milkman in third, Wiggy in fourth, and these places are not decided yet. This is the battle for second. Stormfly, he's miles ahead. We don't have to worry about him. But there's a back marker ahead. Is that back marker going to come into play? Or are they just too far ahead to make a difference? Looking, trying a different line, seeing if he can get a much better exit. He does. What an exit he gets off there. Really close to Milkman. Is he going to be able to take him up the inside? It's a drag race. They are side by side. Here they are side by side right now. Look at that. And he does go through. Wiggy up into third. Is Milkman going to try and get back at him? Doesn't look like he can. He's now on the charge after Arminis. Now we saw the job Arminis did, holding Milkman at bay. Can he do the same to Wiggy? Is there enough lap left to catch him? Is Milkman going to have another go? I'm certain Milkman doesn't want to give it up at this stage. He doesn't want to be dropping out of the top three. So Arminis in second, trying desperately as Nick John Baker finishes in 7th place. We can't watch those guys because here is yet another last lap battle with Black Flag Racing. And Wiggy down the outside. Is he looking to make a move here? And that looked far too easy. So in the space of a couple of laps, Wiggy is closed and what looked like an insurmountable gap and moved up into 2nd place. Now is Milkman going to benefit now and try and make a move on Arminis? There are 3 corners left to make this move. Stormfly crossing the line in the lead. Wiggy looks to be coming home in 2nd. Is there going to be a coming together? As Arminis going to hold out from Milkman? What a phenomenal race by these three. These three have been battling so closely. Very fair. No one touching. Arminis goes wide. Milkman going up the inside now in a drag race to the line. It looks to me... Milkman runs out of fuel at the very, very last knock-ins. Comes out of the final turn, puts the hammer down, and there's no fuel left in the tank. So there we go. Stormfly wins from Wiggy. Arminis in 3rd, Milkman in 4th. Avalon Shadow 5th, Wendigo 6th. Nick John Baker in 7th place. Grizz Troopers in 8th, and Old Man Jay in 9th. But what a phenomenal battle. Yet another race that we've covered here live on Black Flag TV that has had an absolute photo finish at the end. Congratulations, Stormfly. Straight back off holiday, pole position, fastest lap, and a victory again for him. But all the action was to be had behind him. There was nothing out front. It was all behind him. Absolutely phenomenal racing. Well done to everyone in that top 4. That was utterly brilliant. Let's get this replay saved because I'm sure somebody's going to want to watch that again. Although if you want to, you can watch it here on Black Flag TV. But what can I say? That hour went really quickly. That was so Rollins, you know, I love it when it's that clean. That everyone's giving 100%. but they've got enough respect for each other to not try and barge their way through. It was absolutely phenomenal. And what a last couple of laps from Wiggy. That was some crazy pace. Utterly brilliant. Phil from Milkman, it looked to me that he had such a good exit out of that last turn and was going to drag race to the line. He just didn't have enough fuel left. So there we go. An hour and a half ago, we were talking about what a good race we thought it might be. But we're at a halfway point. So we're at a halfway point of our first ever tournament. We started this 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago, there was a handful of us. We'd all just been unceremoniously expelled from they who shall not be named on Wendigo's car, by the way, and wondering what we were going to do. So we started this tournament, this Black Flag BS tournament, with a view to seeing what we might do later on. We are now halfway through that tournament, and we've got races every day of the week except for Monday. We've got a growing base. We've regularly got 7, 8, 9, 10 people in a room. We're live pretty much all the time. This is phenomenal, and it's down to everyone. You guys that watch, you guys that support us, you guys that come and race with us. So thank you very much, because we couldn't do this without you. And you give us racing like that, so it's absolutely worth it. So there's nothing else really left for me to say, except that I've been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag E-Racing TV, and that has been emotional. Look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to get more updates, by the way.
I've never been the one to cry to me, but baby, being with you makes me hungry. Oh, too many lost fingers, and baby, that smell always lingers. Oh, that stench. Oh, how it lingers. Oh, how it lingers. And you're the one for me. You're still a close pick, baby. Feed. And I'm not the one who pushed away. It was you, it was you, it was so easy. And don't be scared, let yourself go. I'm not the judge, that's you alone. And don't be scared, you alone. I'm not the one, it's you and score.
Don't you come in here with your hot, greasy bags and tease me.
Oh, that stench.